tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I hope you like this video. This is another throwback, you guys. We have A Different World Season 3, Episode 2. So, couple of real things happen in this episode that we, listen, again, those of us who went to college, we can relate to a lot of this. So, we start the episode off. It is hot all over campus. Everyone is burning up. Listen, you can relate. You go back to school in August in the South. It's hot, okay? And a lot of, especially, you know, in the 90s, a lot of these schools, the dorms didn't have air conditioning, or you had to, I remember at my school, we had to get, like, for you to have air conditioning in your room, you had to get a note from your doctor saying that you were asthmatic, because a lot of the dorms didn't even have they needed to upgrade the electricity to be able to even do these things. Now, I was one of those people that had a note from my doctor. I had a unit in my room, but good. Okay. So everybody is hot, and so we see Walter and Jaleesa coming out of Walter's room. You know, he's the dorm, so he has Letty's old room. And of course they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. You know, Jaleesa's like, thank you so much, Walter. I'm hot all over again. I'll be back later to cool off. And he was like, yeah, because, you know, I'm hot all over again. And of course the innuendo was that they in there doing some things they ain't supposed to be doing. Girl, Walter had an air conditioning unit in his room. Now, I don't know why they didn't know that. All you had to do is go around the back because the unit's hanging out the window. But, child, you know, of course, everybody, they were ooh-ooh-oohing the whole episode about what Walter and Jaleesa, you know, because, you know, we know they a couple. So I guess they were like, dang, they're like two rabbits. They just going. The other thing we see is Whitley, honey, is ducking and dodging because she has not fulfilled her math requirement. Now, it is her senior year because if you remember, we are on season 3. But remember, the freshman year, A Different World wasn't, they didn't show A Different World. When Denise came, it was technically Lisa Bonet. That was technically her sophomore year. She was returning. So this would be, if Denise had stayed, this would be her senior year. It's also Jaleesa's senior year. No, it's Jaleesa's junior year because remember she was a freshman. And so it would be Whitley's senior year. Anyway, so Walter is like, listen, you know, the math department keeps calling me because you haven't met your math requirement. You're going to end up not graduating. And for some people who went to a bigger school, that might seem like an unrealistic thing. Like, they don't care if you didn't meet your requirement. Oh, well. But again, at smaller schools, especially, again, my experience was with an HBCU, that's the kind of thing that would have happened. Like, they'll send you letters. I'm not saying nobody would care. But as far as, like, hunting you down, because Colonel Taylor ends up coming up on, you know, seeing her at the pit and saying, listen, you need to sign up. And, you know, he's the head of the math department. And he was like, listen, you about to mess around and not graduate. And she was like, you know, Jaleesa, Whitley's thing is, what's the big deal? I'm an art major. I don't need math. Why do I have to take that class? And he was like, listen, at the end of the day, it's a requirement. You got to take the class. Now, you could take it now. You could take it to summer school. You could never, ever, ever graduate. But you're going to take the class. And so he said, so I already signed you up. Be there Monday at, 4 o'clock. And it was his class. And she was like, you? He said, oh, yeah, the easy classes fill up quick. I'm all you got. I'm what's left. So you're going to show up for my class. So, Lord, we see Whitley in class. And child, Whitley is me. When it comes to math, I understand you, Whitley. You are my spirit animal. I feel the frustration. I feel the whole, why do I need this? It doesn't make sense. And she said the same thing I said. She said, child, I was fine with math until they put the numbers in. And I felt the same way. I mean, with the letters. I was fine with math until they started adding letters. I said, letters are for reading. This is math class. Why are we, listen, I felt the same way. And so, she's in class and she's just being silly and making jokes about everything. And of course, it's a deflection to hide the fact that she really doesn't know the work and she really doesn't understand what's going on. And so Colonel Taylor, he talks to her after class and he says, listen, what is it with you and math? Like, you're a very intelligent woman. I know you can do this, but I need you to cut down on the sass and I need you to get it together. And so she tells him the story about how when she was younger, her parents basically told her, you're smart, figure it out, when she started having trouble in math. He was like, so you mean to tell me you're going to not graduate from college because of something that happened when you were in 4th grade? Like, come on, Whitley. He said, you need to get a tutor and you need to get it together, because you can sit here and joke all you want, but at the end of the day, what's going to end up happening is, it doesn't matter what your other grades look like. It doesn't matter what other requirements you fulfill. If you don't pass this class, you're not graduating. Now, on the other side, we have Whitley and Ron realizing the reality of having your own place, right? The dorm takes care of the electricity, the heat, the gas, the water. And of course, we know life isn't perfect in the dorm, but at the end of the day, those bills aren't on us, right? And so Dwayne is working on a budget because, of course, Dwayne's working on a budget, whereas Ron's parents are paying his bills, so his money coming one way or the other. Dwayne is waiting on his financial aid check, and again, that's another headache that we all know well. Dealing with the financial aid office, honey, it's your money, it ain't their money, they don't care. All right, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm just gonna put it out there. Their concern is not your concern when it comes to the financial aid situation. And so Dwayne went. The lady told her, "You gonna have to wait. We going in alphabetical order. Your last name is a W, so I don't know when you gonna get your money." And so he's tutoring on the side to make some extra money. So Whitley goes to him to get a tutor, and she's willing to pay him $50 an hour. And so of course he's like, "Wow, like." You can't be like, nobody's that dumb, But she wants him to just do the work, because he agrees to do it, obviously. Because at first he was like, "I can't charge you that much. Like, come on, Whitley. Like, that's ridiculous." So she's like, "No, I'm willing to pay." And she shows up with, sorbet, and she's all being all nice to him and all, "Hey, that." And so he's like, "All right, let's go, let's get to work." And she's gonna open up the book and tell him what the assignment is, talking about you can just bring it by my dorm later. Dwayne was like, whoa, wait a minute. He said, I'm not doing your work for you. And she was like, "What you mean you're not doing my work for me?" She was like, "What's the big deal? Like, it's not that serious, Dwayne." He was like, "Nah, I'm not doing that." He said, "We can work together and get this done, or I can't help you, but I'm not doing your work for you. Like, that's not what's getting ready to happen." So Whitley gets mad and she ends up stomping off. She tries to go up as high as $100, and he was like, he hesitated, but he was like, "Come on, Whitley, no, I'm not doing that." So the other issue we're seeing with Dwayne and Ron is that Ron's concept of money is just totally different from Dwayne's, right? He sees an ad in the paper for air conditioners on sale, and he's like, "Come on, let's get the air conditioner." And Dwayne was like, "Come on, like, that's ridiculous. That's a stupid purchase. We're only going to be hot for another couple of weeks. We don't have that kind of money in our budget to buy an air conditioning unit for something we only need for a couple of weeks. Like that's silly." And then, they also, they were taking some girls out on a date. Dwayne thought they was going to a movie. Ron then upped up the date and bought tickets to a concert, talking about something. Your half is $50 or whatever. And Dwayne was like, "I got $20 in my pocket. Like, I had to give you the rest next week. Like, I ain't got that kind of money." So Ron is just flippantly spending money willy-nilly. And Dwayne is like, "Come on, like, I'm on a budget. Like, I can't afford to spend money the way you spend money." Now, Dwayne comes home and Ron went and bought that air conditioning unit. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. In my mind, I'm like, you bought it, that's your bill. Of course, Dwayne flips out. He gets pissed off. He's like, "That was just stupid. Why are you spending your money like that?" Dwayne went and bought a fan, honey, and thought he was doing something. He bought a fan and some ice cream and thought he was doing something, honey. And I think, because in my mind, I would have been like, "Well, Ron, that's your bill. Like, and when the electric bill come, you paying whatever the extra is, you paying that too. Because I told you I didn't have no money. I told you not to get it, and it don't have nothing to do with me, right?" But they end up having an argument, the one of many big, arguments that we see them end up having. But this is one of the big arguments that they have, and Dwayne ends up stomping out of the apartment and all that good stuff. And so we see Colonel Taylor meet up with Whitley. Whitley's trying to bribe Kim into doing her homework for her. Kim is like, "No, I'm not doing your homework for you. Do it yourself," right? So Colonel Taylor says, "Listen, I'm going to the father-daughter dance down to Delta Sigma Theta." So I guess his daughter's, Suzanne, she done went, played Delta, honey. He said, "And I want to surprise her. I got a list of dances that I want you to teach me how to do." Because, Whitley can dance, And in real life, Whitley was on Fame. She was one of the extra dancers on Fame under Debbie Allen in real life, right? So Whitley, anyway, Jasmine Guy, I should say. So she's trying to teach Colonel Taylor how to do these dances, and she was like, "You're not tricking me Like, this not no math problem you trying to trick me. And he was like, no. Like, I need to learn how to do these dances. And, of course, he looks ridiculous. He looks silly. And he turns that into a lesson for Whitley, saying basically, listen, everything doesn't come easy to everybody, right? But you have to put in the work. You have to learn, and you have to put in the work. And he goes into this whole story about, trying to do this without any help and going to the right people to get the help. Like, it's okay that you don't know, but you have to seek out the right people that can help you. And he turns it into a whole lesson for her, and of course she then agrees that she'll go ahead and get a tutor and that she'll do better and she'll try, and honey, then then they go back to her teaching him how to do these dances, honey. And listen, he should have been paying her $100 an hour, okay? So then, last but not least, we finally see, later on that night, honey, we're back at Dwayne and Ron's house. Ron's sleeping on the couch right up underneath the air conditioner. And the air conditioner starts smoking. And because the wiring in that damn apartment probably can't handle all them volts of electricity that's coming through that air conditioner. And Dwayne comes out and, of course, Ron is panicking. Call the police, call the fire department, call 911. Dwayne ends up just unplugging the air conditioner like, okay. And they end up talking, they had their little moment with it. Dwayne was like, you want some ice cream? Yeah, I'll take some ice cream. Well, you use your side. Okay, I'll stay on my side. And then they started talking, and, Ron was like, well, I still don't think that I was wrong for buying the air conditioner. And Dwayne was like, but you were. Like, I get it. We all hot and uncomfortable. But you have to understand, you have to respect my financial boundaries. Like, I can't do what you do. And you can't just go out on whims, and you can't just, do things off of a whim when it comes to money, because that my money don't run like your money. And this is going to be a theme that we're going to see throughout their relationship, that Ron just doesn't have the same concept of money because he didn't grow up that way, Then finally we see Whitley is in math class, and she actually gets up and she's actually able to solve a math problem. Now, it took forever, and they have this whole scene where Colonel Taylor starts acting like a Baptist preacher, and he asks the class to pray for her while she walks through it. But she's able to walk through the math problem and end up with the correct answer. And you can see there was a sense of accomplishment for her. The class clapped for her. Colonel Taylor gave her a good thumbs up. And, it ain't perfect, and it's not going to change overnight, but it does show you that there was an effort there, that there was an effort, and that Whitley went out on a limb to do something that she was uncomfortable doing, taking her out of her comfort zone, right? So that's what it is, y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.